Alrighty. Honestly, some good moves overall this week. Some good opportunity. Especially today. News ended up shaking up the market quite a bit about 10 a.m. my time, which brought in a lot of volume and volatility, which ended up pushing a lot of pairs up. But yeah, let's cover everything. So, trying to remember. Let me go through quickly. I want to check the Discord. So I have my Aussie long the other day, but I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, we covered these in that midweek webinar. I remember that. But yeah, cool. Okay, so start off here on Aussie dollar. So honestly, really nice move on Aussie to end the week. Just gonna cover this because I believe, yeah, was it Abbott? Abbott took the longs here. So we'll cover what's happening here. But big sell-off on Aussie on the higher time frames. Okay, clearing all of this internal liquidity, also taking out this structural point buyers would have been looking to enter from. So what's the intention behind this? Since we've now taken out this low, sellers are going to be looked to take this thing lower. And that's why we got 1, 2 candles, 2 days of bearish price action, like right here. Respected something on the left-hand side. And then again, 2 candles, 1, 2, false sell-off, grabbing internal here. Also known as buyers getting trapped, because anybody looking for that continuation, right? If buyers want to see this, the market continuously going up like this, these are going to be areas that they're going to be getting trapped from. Okay. And then again, we induce higher here. So this is going to be a trap. Okay. They get a false reaction here. This is a trap as well. Finally, taking out this internal liquidity point. And if you go to the daily, it kind of just pinpoints that bottom for you. See that daily low. Trade within this daily imbalance. Go to the 4 hour. Also, I believe, yeah, we end up tapping into this area here. We can just draw it out. I'm tapping this area. And then bullish reaction the other way, targeting all of the liquidity we left at the highs. Okay, so you have the liquidity in the current price action. Then if you look to the left, you could have grabbed, let's see, where did this react from? You could have grabbed even just these highs up here, where price action ended up respecting like this. Okay, so you can see this wick tapped into this area, moved away. Now we have liquidity above these highs. Grabbing that internal liquidity, printing that bottom, that extreme. And I believe Abbott kept it really simple with his, and that's all it takes sometimes. I believe he just waited for buyers to get trapped here. Okay, he just took it off the low and covered the whole liquidity block on the higher time frames. And that's all it takes sometimes. Okay, I've spoken about it a million times. I'll say it again. You don't always have to have the most perfect entry. What pays the profits is a correct direction. Okay, and if you have the direction correct most of the time with generous stop losses, just basically giving that trade a little more breathing room, you don't have to try and find that perfection. You're going to be making a lot more, you're going to see a lot more profitability. So again, Abbott just kept it so simple. When this low was taken out after buyers were induced, he could have kept it a little more precise, for example, and just kept it below this liquidity block, sure. But he said, there's no worries. Open it up a little bit more. If it does want to induce a little bit further, his stop loss would have covered him. Okay, so it's only a 6.5 pip stop. And look at the target, right? Like this. Okay, but that's how easy it can be sometimes. Just that higher time frame direction was so clear. Wait for the lower time frame to give you some sort of entry. And again, you can keep it a little more precise if you want to, or just open it up below the whole low. And that's all it takes sometimes. As for a continuation entry, we had this actually, which I was looking at after the fact. I didn't take it, but price respects this high to the left. Okay, where sellers are looking to take this thing lower. Okay, so we respect it once, we respect it twice, and then we get a sell-off. Okay, what's the purpose of the sell-off? To simply just clear any buyers in the market here. Okay, so we take that structural point out. How can we enter this? Again, this is all it takes sometimes. You look below, we have a liquidity block down here. We also have a lower time frame one here. So same kind of example with the extreme down here. You could have taken it like this, stop loss, oops, stop loss below this liquidity block, the lower time frame one, which would have worked perfectly. Or if you just want to be a little bit more safe, look at the overall liquidity block down here, which is nice. And target being up here, 1 to 6. Okay, so again, look, two very generous stop loss, two very generous stop losses, and still providing wonderful gains. As long as that direction is on point, guys, it's like your entry doesn't have to be perfection. Okay, or finding that consistent analysis in direction and bias is way more important because, as we always say, lower time frames are relevant if your higher time frame is incorrect. All right. So two great opportunities. Yeah, of course, it's most important. Of course, of course, of course. Because a lot of people are like, you guys send a lot of charts in the Discord where you're like, you have a lower time frame chart marked out, and you're like, hey, bro, where did I go wrong? The lower time frame looks fine, and if it just didn't go your way, that simply just means your direction wasn't correct. So simply back up, zoom out, and try and find out why the direction wasn't correct. What liquidity we're actually going to hunt? What liquidity you had marked out that probably wasn't correct? Okay, so a lot of people like to send me like even like a 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart of like a buy or sell tool, and there's a stop loss on it, and they're like, "Hey man, where did I go wrong?" I can't tell you where you went wrong with just a 1 minute chart or 5 minute chart. I need to see the direction in the market, right? Because like I said, lower time frame is irrelevant if your higher time frame is incorrect. It's all about getting the direction correct. Okay. Anybody have any questions with Aussie? With targets, with and the direction, anything like that? All good? Ended up being clean. Again, one of these ones also as well is there was news. So the entry for the continuation here would have been around 7:43 or 9:43. So 17 minutes before news. So there were some people that didn't get involved in any trades today. And yeah, 17 minutes. So, and I don't blame you. It is what it is. It's hard to be involved right before news sometimes. Again, we speak about it a bunch. News basically, okay, the only thing we're in control of is our risk, right? You enter a trade, you enter the volume that you're comfortable risking. But with news, when news gets announced, there's a lot of slippages involved, as we know. So these kind of things, all our risk parameters, they go out the window because it could spike against you, and you can have like a 2-3x times what you were initially risking. So it is hard to take entries before news. If you ever want to, just be aware. At least decrease your risk. Um, decrease your risk, anything like that. But honestly, the safest bet is to just not be involved before news. Like for example, I wasn't involved in anything before news. The entry down here Abbott took yesterday would have been perfectly fine because you're sitting like 20 pips in profit by the time news, or even more actually. It's like 25 pips in profit before news gets announced. So, you could either BE or you could roll your stop loss. So there's a very less chance of you getting slipped, opposed to you getting in right when news is being announced, right? So you just kind of got to make that decision, see what you're comfortable with. If you're okay taking taking that risk where stop loss can be slipped, then by all means you can take the trade. Okay, but I'm not going to be the one to say do it or don't do it. You just have to find what you're comfortable with. Okay. So yeah, Aussie, clean stuff today. Let's delete this and see where maybe we're heading now. Weekly is going to end up closing very, very bullish. What do we got? Lots of liquidity above here that we possibly could be heading for. But as of right now, we got this high we're looking at running next. We're only 9 pips away. So we'll see what next week gives us. But as of right now, this thing is on a mission to the upside on the higher time frames, right? We've had 1, 2, 3 consecutive bullish weeks coming from low to high. We're looking at 440 pips in 3 weeks on Aussie, which is crazy. So yeah, very, very bullish. I'm assuming the Dixie, if I can just look quickly, is falling off a cliff. I remember I sent this chart in my group a while ago. Yeah, wow, look at this, guys. Sellers trapped into a liquidity block here. Down here, what do we have? A buy trap all the way back up to inducement high, liquidity block. And then I believe, yeah, look at the lower time frames here. You have sellers induced, sellers trapped, liquidity block, and a continuation down to the downside. And then again, on a lower time frame, you have sellers induced, sellers trapped. I believe this is a liquidity block as well, so you'd have to find a confirmation in here. And then just continuously selling off to the downside. Looking to obviously target these guys next. And then finally, if you look below that, boom. But yeah, I've had my eyes on these lows for a while in the Dixie now. I sent out a chart a long time ago to like my private group. I believe we were trading up here. And then we traded up here. I said should be false, just clearing that liquidity. So yeah, should be targeting this next, which calls for, I don't usually do this because I usually tell you guys just focus on one chart, but it's kind of obvious higher time frame wise, if this is going to continue selling off, then we're going to see like the US cross pairs like EU, AU, GU just continuously going up and up and up. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks and months. But yeah, that's the Dixie. Honestly, I just looked at it for fun. Gold. Okay. Difficult spot. Gold. It's literally trading all-time highs right now. So you got to take it just day by day. See what price gives you and simply just trade it like that. We had a to B kind of trade today I posted in the forecast where I wanted to see this high taken out and then eventually these guys up here. After that, I'm not interested because this is a liquidity block. So we can simply trade above this and see bearish price action to the downside, maybe grab some internal, whatever it is. But after these highs are taken, I have to see what occurs. So those are that's the next destination for me for gold. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But we've now gotten buyers induced, and we've just trapped them with a liquidity block. So probably see a continuation to the upside. But obviously, as we know, the week's done. It's going to be dead the rest of the day, most likely. So yeah. But as for gold, like just look at this thing. Going to, we are on the moon. That's it. When was this low? When was COVID low? Yeah, so over here-ish. This is when COVID was. We've gone up 72%. Crazy. But yeah, all-time highs right now in gold. So if you are an active gold trader, guys, I just recommend trading it day by day. I'm letting that intraday price action build liquidity and yeah, just take it day by day. But same thing with gold today. With just like honestly, just like Aussie, and I believe just like Euro too, which we'll cover. But false reactions from the left. Okay, cleared false sell off to the downside, clearing that internal liquidity. Look at this buildup we had on the way up. Build up of liquidity. We grabbed this low. I believe we tapped right into this imbalance here. Okay, and run away to the upside. How can we get involved in this? Same thing as Aussie. All you need to do is open up your stop a little bit more. Look what we had below. Liquidity block. So just put your stop all the way below there. You're about 45 pip stop on gold, which isn't that bad. And where can we target? We got these highs like I marked out before. Let's see if we can get that 1 to 3. You can 1 to 3 and change. Just like that. But yeah, as we discussed, sometimes it's hard to take that entry pre-news. So it is what it is. Still opportunity available. As for confirmation entries, no confirmation. That was just the entry that was given here. After that internal was taken, liquidity block below, and that's your entry. Okay, simple, easy. Okay. And yeah, like I said, as for gold, if you guys are actively trading this pair, just be aware that we are at all-time highs. So just day by day. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I recommend. EU, a lot of you guys got involved today, which was ended up being nice. Okay. So we end up selling off yesterday, clearing this low to the left-hand side. Okay. Look what we left at the highs. This whole buildup of liquidity on the way down. Okay. Trend line, whatever it is. We have lots of liquidity here. You can grab the structural point as your final target, just like that. You can grab this as like an intraday partial point, just like this. Perfect. And I believe, yeah. Okay. So this was nice. Thursday, yesterday, late New York, we end up having a trap occur. All right, low taken, or sorry, high taken first to induce buyers, and then they get trapped. Okay, leaving us a liquidity block. So we can mark that out, run on liquidity. And then if you look right above, we have that last, like we have this inducement low here left for us. If you grab the bottom of this inducement low, like a box, grab the bottom of the liquidity block, this is essentially all a valid buying area. Price trades right into it and then runs away. What happens beforehand though? We get, I'll just use this. We get a run higher, printing a new high. Okay. Then we get a sell off here, inducing sellers. We get a retracement back to the highs and we respect this area and move away. What does that tell me? We now have liquidity above here. Okay. So now we're starting to build that story for us to continue higher. Then we get another sell off, taking out this low. Price returns to these highs, respects it, moves away. Now we got, oops, liquidity here as well. So just now we're building that reasoning to push higher. Okay, left highs here, left highs up here. So we're starting to hint at us that we're leaving that liquidity to the upside. All right. Entry would have been as soon as inducement low is taken here. So it would have been at, let's see with the blue box, 11076. Anywhere below 11076 was the entry. Stop below. Open it up a bit. Boom. There's your a great partial point. If you want a partial here, you could have. There's a 1 to 6. I mean, why wouldn't you? 1 to 6 here. And then to the left, 1 to 9-ish, or almost 1 to 10. And then finally, last target at the structural point on the higher time frame, on the H1 at least, would have been 1 to 18, which is mental, but clean. Super, super clean. Okay. But something I want to point out to you guys is it was all done on purpose. Okay. This is just a buildup of liquidity here. This is sellers entering the market. So pre-news, look at the price action we get for until news is announced. 6 hours and 55 minutes. We built liquidity in the markets. Okay. So this is why I tell you guys sometimes if we have a big news event in New York, to just try and stay away if you are a London trader in London. Like don't trade it. Because look at the price action you would have got. Probably would have done your head in. You're like, oh my God, look, we took the low, respected retail. Like there's just no trades. And maybe mentally it would have just exhausted you. Okay, so London builds liquidity for New York news to just take out. All good? Make sense, guys? Simple stuff. Clean, yes, sir. Quite a few people ended up taking this trade, which was cool. Super, super clean. Let's see where we're at though on the higher time frames on this thing. So just like Aussie, flying to the upside right now. We are trading within this area. Could see price stall here for a bit, or we just blast right through. We'll just have to see what happens. But we could see price react here. Why? We talked about it a bunch since we've taken out the lows. Okay. Possibly get false reactions at the highs. Okay. But sometimes we'll just rock it right through. So We'll wait and see what Euro ends up doing. But yeah, look at this move that we ended up getting, guys. It's crazy. Build up here, run that build up, and now we're just running straight for the highs. So clean. This is trap. Remember, everything that happens in the lower time frames happens in the higher time frames. So trap here, running some sort of internal, and then just continuation, all these weekly lows, all the way up to the highs. Super clean. Everything is clear. I had these exact trade setups, but I didn't take them because of the red week. But good to know. Exactly. It's important. Clean. Still train my eyes to see it all together. Marco, do you ever swing a position if you can see the move? So I used to do that, as you guys probably saw. That was when I was trading my personal accounts. I currently don't trade a big personal account. I just use prop firms right now. But yeah, when I was trading personals, I would hold some trades for like weeks sometimes. I would leave just a small runner, to be honest with you. So once my intraday targets hit, I pay myself. I have more of like a higher time frame target, and then that possible swing target, I'd leave peanuts, 10% of my position maybe. So if I had 10 lots running, I'd probably leave one lot running, 1 to 1.5 lots. But the benefit of that is, if like let's say for example I had an entry down here, right, and I just ended up closing 90% of it, so I only had like a lot and a half running. That's sitting at about 4,500 on a position I completely forgot about. So there's definitely benefits to holding positions. Would you ever say intraday is a bit less stressful for you as compared to swing? Um, would you say intraday is a bit less stressful? I would say intraday sometimes could be a bit more stressful, especially for the people that are a little more new. For me, I would say I'm a lot more disciplined and stuff now, where like I don't bother to, I got show up every day, but I don't want to take a trade every day. The hard thing about people that are learning and still in the beginning of their journey is, if they are intraday trading, they show up with that need and that want to be in a trade every single day. So that could be a little more stressful. Swing trading, if you're holding like full positions for swing, sure, yeah, I guess that'd be stressful, but I don't recommend that. I would say pay yourself at your intraday and higher time frame targets, and then hold a peanut for a swing. Okay, like I said, if you were able to get some sort of position, let's just say, I don't even know. Let's just say you had a position here. Okay, and the higher time frame target being up here, or not even higher time. This is more of a swing. Okay, the higher time frame would be here. Okay, intraday would be here, and then higher time frame up here, and then swing up here. That's the key, holding peanuts. Yeah, you just want to forget about it. You gotta remember, like, if you're leaving 10% of your position on, like, that's nothing. If it ends up running all the way to these swing targets, it's a lot of pips, and it could pay out nice. Makes sense. I was just thinking if we sweep a higher time frame low, that would make sense to leave something. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. It all depends what you're doing, what kind of account you're trading. In my opinion, if you are trading props, it's not really that worth it, because prop accounts, you just want to rack up the account. I talk about it a bunch, but the most money I make on props is, I have a couple accounts, 1 to 4 accounts. I trade account 1, a couple percent, account 2, a couple percent, account 3, a couple percent. By the time I get to the third or fourth account, accounts 1 and 2 are receiving payouts, and then I just go all the way back to the beginning, rinse and repeat through like 3 or 4 accounts. Sorry guys, I'm gonna call. Can you guys hear me okay still? Just want to make sure I didn't screw up the call. All good? Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. If you are holding peanuts to swing targets, I definitely recommend doing that on personal accounts rather than prop accounts. My opinion, at least. I was testing moves on H4 and daily. It seemed exciting, and peanuts are left for swing. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's what I was doing on my personal. I would leave a lot open, one lot open, and like, for example, like this, I forget about the position, and I'm still trading my intraday kind of strategy and system. This position ends up running all the way to target for 230 pips. That's another 2,300 on a position I forgot about last week or 2 weeks ago. So there is definitely positives to it. Um, like I said, it just depends what kind of what account you're trading. All right. Yeah, euro. But wow, everything is just on the move right now. Pound haven't been trading. It's just literally again on the moon. It's just price action that hasn't really been able to find a top. It just pull back, continuation. So I'm not really looking at pound right now. And back to Aussie. Let's see what US 30 ends up doing. Wild. Uh, honestly, it's just so hard to trade these kind of pairs once they're so high. You just have to wait day by day, right? And then we'll see. US 30 ends up doing something sort of clean though. Same kind of thing. Induced higher. False sell off to the lows. Grabbing that liquidity at the lows. And then continuing along to the upside, taking out the structural point, and then also the high to the left. Okay. Why did I mark this high? Simple stuff here. This high respected to the left, this high. So now we've got liquidity here, right? So simply just grab that high, and I want to be targeting that. And we spiked right above it, and then we actually saw bearish price action after spiking above it. Okay. Yesterday, pound had a good buy late in New York out of trading hours. We can take a look at it. I wasn't, to be honest, I haven't looked at pound since last week, I think, but let's take a look. Okay, so took out that low. Let's see. Nothing really clean to the left-hand side to be taking any extreme entries off of. So I'd have to wait for some sort of confirmation-based entry. I don't really like anything over here too much. Okay, we sort of had a build-up like this. Okay, build up a liquidity and then a false run to the downside, but nothing really too clean. We have a liquidity block down here. Other than that, I would have probably still looked for some sort of confirmation-based entry. As for going up, do we stab this low or leave equals? I'm not too sure. Left equals, so nothing here. And then once we approach the high, yeah, so like nothing, because then when we took the high, I'm not looking for buys anymore. Yeah. Yeah, just a direct entry, exactly. Nothing too clean. Possibly, maybe. No, not even. I don't like anything over here, to be honest with you guys. Nothing on pound. Sure, the direction was nice, right? We take the low, and then we run all the way back up to the highs, which is fine. But as for entries, like nothing I'm too fond of, to be honest with you. Yeah, just that weekly high. That's it. And yeah, just like honestly all the other US cross pairs on the moon. And now that it's taken out this high, I'm just staying aware of like any buys right now are just tough because we could see some bearish price action right now. All right. But yeah, crazy week. Lots of movement, lots of volume. Next week, what are we looking at news wise? Monday, pound holiday, so London should probably be dead. Tuesday, a little bit of news in New York. It's not too much. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, well, yeah, this should be a volatile day on Thursday, and then Friday, a little more news. So I don't expect too much movement, especially after how much movement we got this week. So we'll see. It'll be the last week of August, and then come September, we'll have NFP the following week. So we'll see. How's everything doing though? You guys all good? Any questions? Let me know. I am feeling like, oh my God, my allergies are just kicking my ass. It's crazy. Head is pounding, stuffy nose. I probably sound sick. Oh, I think I've blown my nose like 85 times today. How come? It's just my seasonal allergies. I get around this time, what is it? Yeah, end of August to beginning of September. I get like my seasonal allergies, so like pollen and ragweed. It gets really bad at this time of year, and it kills me. Smacks me in the face, man. Honestly, it feels like I'm sick for like 3 weeks. Got like a head cold kind of thing. Winter's coming. Oh my God, don't say that. How many of you guys live in the UK? Anybody here in the UK? Yeah, Adam, you're in the UK. Yeah, whereabouts in the UK, bro? East London. Nice. Um, I'm supposed to come run a half marathon with Riz end of September next month. I mentioned that already to you guys once, but yeah, I just want to see if any of us you guys in the UK in the call right now or no?
Yeah, bro. I'm from East London as well.
Oh, nice one, brother. Okay. Um, I'm gonna have a chat with Riz and see if we can. I don't know what the timing's looking like. That's the problem. I don't know if we're gonna be a little bit hectic, but if we have time, I'm gonna try and organize something with Riz for the people in the UK at least, and I'll let you guys know beforehand. So if you are like a couple hours away from where I'm gonna do it, you guys can sort of plan a little bit of a trip. But yeah, I'm gonna have a chat with Riz and I'll see what I can do. I want to try and do something though while I'm out there in the UK. Should be going. Let me pull up my calendar. Okay, so I believe the race is on the 29th, which is a Sunday. So maybe the week before. So end of September. It'll be the last week of September, 23rd, 24th, 25th. I'll fly over sometime during then, I think. I'll try and organize something. Um, do one in the UK, and the next time I come to Dubai, I'm gonna do one in Dubai for anybody else. But yeah, that's the plan. Plan one out in Canada. Honestly, I should. Me and Abed's over here too, so it's not a bad idea. For anybody over here. I don't know how many Canadians we got over here though. That's the problem. But yeah, we'll see. I'll try and get something. There's a couple of us out here in this cold country, unfortunately. Before the winters, I agree. Yeah, the winters over here, man, they're coming. Oh my God, your taxes are crazy. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. Honestly, I think London taxes are quite similar to Canada taxes. Your UK taxes are ass. I'm pretty sure at least. That's what Riz told me.
Marco.
Yo,
Sorry, bro. If you don't mind, can I ask you a question about gold, please? Yeah.
on gold?
Yes, please, bro.
No worries, brother. What time frame am I looking at for you?
Let's just go on to the 5 minute time frame.
Yep,
And we're looking at the price around 249.028.
2498.
Yeah. Um,
So before news?
yeah, that was before news, bro.
Yep,
Just bear with me. Let me just check up my chart.
yep,
So the 5 minute break of structure. All right, cool. So before the news spike,
yep.
I think that's where it is. Just bear with me one sec, bro. I'm just checking my chart right now, yeah?
No worries.
All right, bro. Is it right if you could just go on a 1 hour?
Okay.
Just mark out, where the lower high to the lower low is, the most recent one before the news spike. So that 1 hour order block, let's say, it's not liquidity block, it's an order block.
Here.
Just below that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles below that. So the one that looks like a doji.
This one here.
Yes, brother, that one.
Yeah.
So basically, I had that area marked out as a seller's trap, basically. So SMC, where people would be trying to get order blocks in from and try to sell from.
Yeah.
So we had a reaction. So from the 5 minute time frame, now if you want to go in, can you see where we had that before? I'm trying to see if I could annotate your screen. Sorry,
Yeah, you should be able to if you click. I believe it's more.
more. Paste it. No, it's not even showing me. It just says notes, docs, and stuff.
Does anybody else on the call see annotation on their options? If you can help out, let them know because mine's gonna be different since I'm the host of the call. I can't see what you guys can see.
If you're using a Mac, it's on the bottom left, a pen mark.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see that, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
So basically, when Price took out this low over here,
Yep.
I had this as a trap,
Yep.
and I was trying to basically long price into there, right? So what happened was I took an entry around here. I got spiked out, and then it went to my region. So
Okay.
now I have rid of the drawings now. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, so if you just zoom into where I've done that break of structure or that liquidity grab, buyers trapped, right? Even on the 1 minute, if you want to go on the 1 minute.
Yeah, you're talking about right here, right?
Yeah, but I actually had mine marked out as here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so what I saw was price around here. It gave me my entry drill, but obviously the price didn't work out. So I just wanted to know from your side if there's anything that I could do.
Well, the
further along.
direction was fine if you were taking it to this high. How did you take the entry on the M1?
Yeah, M1, please. So what I saw was price came up. It made a higher low over here, made a higher high. So I used this area here as a buyer's trap section, and I had this as a liquidity block. Expecting price to then just go up and take out that and then the high at the top, right? But instead, what you can see is price decided to come down lower
Once
and then
more.
yeah, and then go
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
down. So was there anything I can do to avoid that loss, or was it just one of those ones?
Uh, I'm gonna be honest. It just seems a little bit forced to me. Like this kind of price action. Well, like what you want to see, looking for a confirmation based entry is like simple stuff. So like this, we have liquidity here. You want price to run below. You get the reaction up, and then you want to see a build up occur here. Okay, meaning you want to see liquidity built in this area because then you have a liquidity block below. So whether that's going to be something like, sometimes you get like a channel of price action like this, and then you get a
Yeah.
false run down. You run that liquidity, and then there's a liquidity block. So if you force it, you could say, cool, you have a high and a low, but you want to see like an actual liquidity built here, a reason for price to take out this low and then run higher. So, like I said, you have many different types of buildups like we talk about on the WAP, but this one will be another one, right? You have this structure liquidity. We induce higher once more. So this will be a trap, and then you have liquidity right here. So then it makes sense to run that internal point, get that reaction, and move higher. This
All right.
just seems very like forced and like it's just very squeezed up. You get what I'm saying? So like another one would be like, now that we get that reaction here, this is where sellers are looking to enter from. So it moves away. Now we have liquidity above here, induces further more, which now tells me this is going to be a trap as well. Then I would be looking for some sort of entry. So look what happens here. Look at the difference here. We induce higher, print that high, price comes down to the low, respects it, moves away. Now we have liquidity here. So now I would be looking for an entry below here with my liquidity block being right there. Okay. And again, that's because price respects this low and moves away. So now that tells me that retail entered positions here. And we have liquidity below this low.
All right, cool. That makes
Okay.
sense. No worries, bro.
Well, other than that, there was no like confirmation based entries on your type of move here. You could have forced one like, again, these are just not too clean, but sort of here. Taking it here, but again, that's not my favorite. I would have, if I was looking at this in live time, I'd be looking at price below here.
Okay. So when I was looking at in lifetime, obviously because I took that loss, I didn't do anything, but I did see this as another area again. Obviously, I know there was a break of structure, but then because I had this area here as a
A
trap,
trap. Yeah, yeah. So liquidity. Yeah, yeah. I see what you mean.
so I had that. And bro, I'm gonna ask you one more question. I do
Mhm.
apologize if I'm getting annoying, yeah.
No worries. That's what I'm here for.
The other one's on EU.
Yep.
You know where price actually grabbed liquidity today just before the news and then it flew up?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, cool. So my thing was over here. This is where you lot have said there's a liquidity block, right? And price
Yeah.
came out over here.
Yeah.
Mm, Let me just remove the drawings. So what I get confused about sometimes is I understand you say you don't want to trade with structure or retail. Wouldn't this be a higher high, a break of structure over here? So this why I was a
Zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What did we just take here?
sorry, bro, just one sec. Okay. Yeah, so we took out buyers over there then, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So what are all these areas going to be?
So these are all traps, obviously, yeah, for sale.
Exactly. So if sellers are entering here, look what happens. Think about it in the retail perspective. They get a reaction, okay, from their POI, the red box, to the downside. They get their breakage structure here, okay. They mark out this area, and they enter sells here, right? And this is how retail enters trades. They enter sell here. Stop loss goes above their high, so they get POI reaction. Okay, POI reaction to the downside. Now they got their confirmation based entry. BOS to the downside, pullback, they're entering again. Okay, and they want to see price where? Further, to continuation to the downside.
Okay, so when this
You understand that, we now know that liquidity is above this high now.
okay,
These guys are going to get trapped, looking the wrong way. So that's the bigger picture.
okay, cool. So even though this over here is a break of structure, but because we're targeting long, you're saying after trap occurs, we
Yes,
can
you got to remember it always comes down to liquidity.
okay.
Okay, and that's why I always tell you guys the higher time frame holds more weight. So since we've taken out this low, any reaction we get at the highs, pushing price down, it's another opportunity to buy.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and if you look in current price action, look how we take a low here, sellers induced. This is a trap. Again over here, take the low. This is all a trap. So just leaving lots of liquidity at the highs here. What? Everybody got boxing training. I watched the restaurants. Yeah, of course, brother. No worries. Have a good weekend. We'll talk soon. Take it easy. Does this make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, bro. Appreciate
And then
that.
yeah, the entry would have been anywhere below here, meaning liquidity block below. There's no liquidity below this low, so we should get reactions here to the upside. Clear that liquidity that's built for us, and then hunt the higher time frames as well.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so once that did come into a liquidity block, I did try find a manual entry,
Mhm.
but there was nothing there, so I didn't take anything. Because it was showing on 1 minute as break of structures, so I was just a bit hesitant on taking a long.
Yeah. So if there was no news, I would have personally waited for an entry here. Oops. An entry here. I would have looked for the same thing. We get a run on liquidity, and then we get some sort of liquidity buildup. Okay, and then we have an area to take an entry off of. As soon as price stabs a low, buy.
Oh, perfect. That's cleared up a lot of things for me, bro. Appreciate that.
Cool. Perfect, brother. Sounds good. Everybody else all good? All good, all good. I think there was one more. Oh yeah, he asked me how would I manage runs during the snow. To be honest with you, bro, last year I ran quite a few times in the snow. It's not as bad as you think. As soon as you get your heart rate up, you get really warm really quickly, to be honest. But as soon as your heart rate gets back down and you finish that run, everything's really cold again. But yeah, I don't mind winter runs, to be honest. Really don't. But yeah, guys, if you guys are all good. I've covered everything I need to cover. I think I have some content I might record this weekend, but I'll let you guys know in the Discord for sure. I've tried to start a couple of times, but lost consistency. Yeah, it's I'd say the hardest thing about running is getting started. The beginning is the hardest part because your body's not used to it. Your heart, you have no cardio essentially. So everything is really difficult at the beginning. But yeah, consistency is king in all aspects of life. We know that. All good, gonna be bulletproof next week. Yes, sir. That's it. Take those losses, turn them into lessons for next week. Use the weekend to even review your week for sure, and yeah, see what you can fix and tweak up for next week. But yeah, guys, cool. That's everything for me. Um, feel free to message me this weekend if you guys have any help. If you're back testing or whatever, shoot me a message. I'll try to get back to any DMs you guys send me. But yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Spend some time with the family, do all the good stuff, and yeah, I'll see you back in here on Monday. Okay, boys, have a good one. You as well. You as well. Always, guys. We'll see you guys on Monday. Take it easy.